You're listening to the Meet the Farmers podcast with me, your host, Ben Eagle. Please remember to subscribe to the show wherever you are listening. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 295 of Meet the Farmers. I'm your host, Ben Eagle, and today on the show, we're talking about farm fitness, physical health, mental well-being, and how to stay strong, both your body and your mind while on the farm. My guest is someone who knows this space inside and out, Will Arden. He's a farmer based near Lincoln, in Lincolnshire, mostly arable, but they also have some deer. He's the owner of the Farmyard Gym, and he's the current head judge of Britain's Fittest Farmer, a competition he knows well, having competed 5 times, and he won the men's under 40s category last year. And I'm really pleased to have him on the show today. Well, welcome to Meet the Farmers.
Hi, Ben. Thank you for having me.
To kick things off, tell us a little bit about where you are, your family's farm in Lincolnshire, and a bit about your background.
Well, we're sort of 10 miles north of Lincoln, so North Lincolnshire. It's beautifully flat for most of it. And so we are, as you said, primarily arable, covering cereals, peas, potatoes, that type of thing. And then, but we do have a little bit of land on the wolds, which is why we moved into some deer. That started 20 odd years ago, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And are running a herd of about 400 breeding hinds at the moment.
Okay. I was going to say, Lincolnshire is one of those counties, isn't it, that really changes as you drive from south to north. Some real diversity in the landscape and the soils, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's such a long county, I suppose, that it covers such a big area. And yeah, even across our farm, there's such a diverse aspect on the soils and the landscape itself. Where I'm sat at the moment, you can see for miles and miles because it's that flat, but then 10 miles towards the wolds and it's suddenly as hilly as you'll get anywhere. You're just getting up and down constantly. Hence, can't get a tractor up and down it. So what do? You put some livestock there.
And what about your sort of fitness journey? Tell us about the Farmyard Gym and how that came about.
So I've always been quite active and sporty growing up. Was always loved playing team sports, rugby, football, running, that type of thing. And then wanted to keep that going in some sort of way. So I've done my qualifications in personal training and group exercise and that type of thing. And it was always a bit of a dream to open up a gym, but thought, how can I do it alongside the farm, seeing as the farm was always going to pull me back. It was sort of an inevitable thing that was going to happen in the life plan, as it were. And I suppose one of the old cold stores was empty, unused. So we thought, bit of farm diversification. Why not fill it with gym kit and
of course,
get people along to some sessions. So that was the birth of the idea. And it was also probably having done the Fittest Farmer for a few years. The final has previously been at Farm Fitness down in Essex, which which is partly where I suppose I got the idea from. They've got a great setup down there. And so again, it's a nice bit of diversification. It's different revenue streams, which I think for most farmers is needed nowadays.
Yeah. Do you know there are many farmers diversified into gyms? Actually, there aren't many of you.
No, I don't think there are loads. I must admit, now that I've started doing it, you spot the others as well. But I'd still say there's probably, from what I've seen, 10 or 15 across the whole country. So not loads, but they're is becoming a little bit more popular as people enjoy going out to the countryside. And it's a bit different to your normal commercial gym where you're sort of in your 4 walls and you can't see the sunlight. It's much nicer being a bit more outside and being in the country, basically.
Yeah. Does it attract a certain type of person to your gym in particular then? Is it mostly local people? Are people coming from further afield?
I'd say generally it's local people, mostly because we're in the middle of nowhere. So it's sort of surrounding villages that we get people coming towards us. It's a slightly different training style to probably your conventional gym as well. You're not sitting on a weights machine and just doing lots of reps. It's a sort of hybrid between CrossFit and strongman, would be how I'd describe it. So it's sort of functional fitness stuff that will help you in everyday life and how to get stronger bodies and just feel better in yourself and be healthier, basically.
Because actually, if you think of, I mean, certainly in many ways, if you think of like going to the gym, it's something that is so much more available to literally just because of where they are, people who live in towns and cities than
Yeah.
people in rural areas.
Yeah, no, exactly. If I went the 10 miles into Lincoln, there'd be an option of 20 odd gyms there, whereas around me, I am the only one for probably a 5-mile radius, if not slightly more than that. So it's very different. Obviously, if you're in those locations, great for you, but if you're not, it's nice to have an option elsewhere as well.
Yeah. I suppose, I mean, moving on from that to fitness on farms. So, I mean, farming is physical by nature, but that doesn't necessarily mean, as we all know, that you'll be keeping super fit. I mean, so in terms of like the challenges for a lot of farmers in staying fit, just paint us a picture of that.
What I see a lot of in us as being sort of slightly mixed is the guy that we're quite separate of the arable guys do the arable and the livestock, say on the livestock side. So the arable guys, if you're sat in a tractor a lot of the day, don't actually do that much movement. Don't get me wrong, when you're out and you're in the workshop and you're doing maintenance or whatever, that's quite active and hard work. But a lot of hours you spend sat down, sort of bouncing along, not doing very much movement. So on that side, it's a really big challenge to try and make sure that you maintain your fitness. Versus the livestock side, you're quite a lot more up and out, doing things with feed buckets, pushing feed up, whatever it might be. It feels a lot more active to me, that side of the job, but there's rarely the crossover. So I think it's more of a challenge for the arable farmers to try and stay as fit as possible. But it's a very different style of fitness, I suppose.
Yeah.
The intensity of it is very different, obviously, but the day-to-day stuff that you do around the farm is all quite low intensity. You might have to lift something heavy every now and then, but it's on the sort of on occasion rather than if you're in the gym, you're there doing it hard and with intent for 45 minutes an hour, whatever it might be, actually making yourself stronger through the process rather than doing I'll lift this up now. Oh, that was quite hard work. I'll go sit down for that and do whatever else. So it's a different type of fitness, but important to do.
Yeah. Also, massive generalization, and sorry, listeners, but the number of tractor cabs I've been in where you've got cans of Coke and maybe bags of sweets or something else in there as well. That's definitely a thing as well.
Yes, no, it's definitely the diet side of it is. I think a lot of it comes from boredom. If I'm honest, lots of people.
Yeah, for sure.
If you sat there just going up and down all day, it's something to do with snack. And again, if you're tired, sugar just helps keep the energy levels up, but doesn't necessarily mean it's good for you or good for your body. So it's another aspect of health and fitness that is difficult for farmers. Just trying to make a healthy backup is time consuming, and time is something that a lot of farmers don't have. If you're doing hours upon hours, you don't get home and think, oh, I need to meal prep for the next week. You think, I need to go to bed, don't you? So it's a difficult aspect to navigate, but one that we should be conscious of.
Yeah, I think the time thing is a big one. So, I mean, if a farmer out there is saying, yes, this is me, I'm really time poor, I don't have any fancy kit on the farm, what would you say to them in terms of things they could do to help boost their fitness?
So I suppose it's trying to incorporate it into your sort of daily routine if you can, using everyday objects or using your sort of daily routine. A sort of easier one would be, instead of driving around everywhere, if you've got some closer fields, walk around them, do your crop walking that way, go out, try and get as many steps in as you can sort of naturally through looking at things around the farm rather than, I know it's very easy to jump on your little buggy and zoom up and down because it does save a bit of time. But if you can incorporate both together, you're killing two birds with one stone effectively. And I suppose it's just trying to be as good at planning as possible. So I'll say the whole dietary side, the meal prep, that type of thing is not very fun to do, but it will help you in the long run. If you can batch cook something on the weekend and then have that for all your lunches throughout the week, should save you a bit of time throughout the week because it's already prepped and is hopefully healthier and better for you.
I mean, there's also a strong link, isn't there, between movement and mental well-being. So, what about the mental health side of things? Did you have clients, say, who come to you with that in mind, as well as the physical side?
Yeah, I think there's a very, very strong link between the physical side and the mental side, just in terms of the hormones and the sort of endorphins that you can get going from the physical side. So once you've finished doing a gym session or been for a run or whatever it might be, they call it type 2 fun, don't they? Where it's not necessarily that fun at the moment,
Yeah.
but afterwards you get the benefit and you feel great and you think, yes, I've achieved something. So I think that's a fantastic resetter. And I think even if you are feeling just generally a little bit unfit, a bit sluggish, a bit tired, going to the gym can help you through that. If you're feeling better, you'll feel more energetic and that will help your mental health as well.
I think the other thing we talk a lot about in farming at the moment is resilience. That word comes up a lot. And I think one of the things certainly about if you're doing any sort of training as well, training for something, that's then adds in sort of, it's all about self-discipline, isn't it? About, and that can then filter into other parts of your life.
Yeah, if you have an event, a goal in mind, whatever it is, it just helps you be that much more disciplined with whatever you're preparing for. It doesn't necessarily have to be a fitness goal, whether it's, I don't know, learning a language or something, and you've got a holiday lined up and that's your deadline to be to a certain level. It will mean that you turn up and you do your 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever it is every day, and you think, I've got to do it and I've got to keep going. And just those little bits will add up, compound to get you to where you need to be, basically. So it's I think setting a goal and will help with that.
Let's talk about Britain's Fittest Farmer, because you are head judge this year. But like we said in the intro, you have a lot of experience in this competition. Tell us a little bit about the competition in general in terms of sort of how it came about and its background.
So I don't know how it initially arrived, but it's basically aimed at promoting health and fitness within farmers, including the mental aspect of it. So it's just trying to raise awareness, but also give people a goal to aim for. As I just said, it's nice to have something to aim for and helps with the discipline side of it.
So you last year, you won the under 40s category, but I'd really like to get an idea of what it's like to be a competitor in the competition. So what does it involve right the way through from the application process through to the competition itself?
So applying for the competition, it probably looks slightly scary on paper. I'll clarify that it's not a beauty contest. Everyone always hears Britain's Fittest Farmer and their first thought is, oh, really? You're the most attractive farmer they could find. But no, it's more of it's a fitness competition. So it's running up and down, lifting weights, that type of thing. It's a combination of farm aspects, but in a more fitness intense style. So signing up, it's quite easy. You just go onto their website and you write a little bit about yourself, what you currently do to stay fit, and how you help try to keep your mental health in check, and then just also include a photo of you doing some exercise, basically. So but the competition itself is really friendly. Everyone is always there to sort of cheer you on, help you along as you go through. I've made some good friends over the years, and they'll start with 3 qualifiers just dotted around the country at different country shows. So I think we've got Lincolnshire County Show, Yorkshire Show, and the Royal Welsh Show this year. So you'll be doing 5 short little events during that, and then the top 10 across all the shows will make it into the final. which will be in September.
Yeah, and
And
there's
so
a range of different categories.
yes, yeah, exactly. So there's men's and women's and under 40s and over 40s for both of those. So 4 categories in total.
And as a judge now, what are you looking for in competitors? Is this about endurance, raw strength, mindset? What are you looking for?
We're trying to design the events so that it's a combination of everything to get the sort of the overall fittest farmer, as it were. So there will be some heavier weights in there. There will be some longer events for the endurance. There will be some quite quick, powerful movements. It will be a fairly broad spread of everything. In general, I'd recommend most people to just get really strong, and then you make the heavy weights feel lighter, and then that should help you as you go through the events, basically. But there'll be a combination of your normal sort of farmer movements. So there'll be some tires in there. There'll be some carrying. There'll be some lifting overhead. It'll be a real mix to test your whole body, basically.
I mean, if someone is listening to this thinking, I mean, this sounds great, but I mean, I could never do something like that. This isn't for me. But I don't know. Should they still be considering entering?
Oh yeah, 100%. It's I say the main thing about it is that it's friendly. You don't have to be the quickest. You don't have to be the fittest. You don't have to be the best. It's still good fun to take part in, and you get a real sense of achievement at the end of it. Everyone will be there cheering you along. Doesn't matter how quick or slow you are. It's good fun at the end of the day, and it's free to enter. So why not, basically?
Yeah. What are the dates that people have to be aware of? Are there sort of deadlines for entry cutoffs and that kind of thing?
So dates for the qualifiers are, we've got the Lincolnshire show on the 18th of June. The Yorkshire show is the 8th of July, and the Royal Welsh show is on the 24th of July. And I think you can apply to pretty much last minute. Try not to do the day before, but I think a week in advance, so you should be able to still jump onto the final one, just to make sure that, so you can secure your spot. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, this episode's coming out on the 2nd of June, so there's a little bit of time still for you Lincolnshire lot, anyone in this part of the world who wants to go, a bit more time for everyone else. And in terms of the business, both the gym and the farm as well, what are sort of plans for the future? How are things going with all that?
Good is trying to do both is a lot of work. I'm sort of part-time on the farm, part-time on the gym, and it takes a lot of hours and a lot of work, but it's good fun and stuff that I enjoy on both of them. So the future, love to expand and just get more people in, and basically have the capability of helping more and more, and slowly growing into it that way. I think the farm, I think as most farm, as I said before, that you just need a bit more diversification, because you can't rely on the old revenue streams that we used to have. The markets are sometimes fantastic, sometimes terrible. So to spread your risk and to try and have a secure business, I think you need these other options as well.
And I suppose, and also as a multi-generational farm as well, with everything that's been in the news, I'm sure that certainly think it's an approach that lots of farmers are taking, isn't it, to actually have another business separate. In fact, I heard of one farmer in Cornwall the other day who they bought a fish and chip shop as an additional sort of revenue stream coming in. So I think we're going to see that more and more.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm one of 4. And we're all back home working on the farm. And so we're all trying to do our own little slightly separate things and try and bring something different into the business, which at the moment is working well. We haven't bitten each other's head off, so that's positive.
That is an achievement in itself. Yeah, four siblings back in the same place. Well, I think we're going to start to round this up. But Will, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm going to ask you the last 2 questions that I ask everyone who comes on the show. The first is a message for the public, and the second is a message for farmers. What would your message to the public be?
It'll be to support your farmers. So, as you said, at the moment they're going through a bit of a tough time with the inheritance and just general markets being all over the place. So support them, try and buy local, let them know that they're doing a good job, as it can be quite difficult. They can get a little bit down from time to time. So give them support. Don't get cross with them. They are here feeding the nation. They are doing a good job. So please be nice.
That's good. And a message to farmers.
It will be to try and look after yourself as much as possible. So be active, try and stay fit, jump on the Britain's Fittest Farmer competition if you want to go for. It's a great competition, really friendly, as I say. It doesn't matter your ability. It's still good fun. It's free to come along to. But then also look after yourself. On the mental side, there are always people out there to chat to. If you have any worries, open up, have a conversation. A problem shared is a problem halved. So just go for it and you'll feel so much better at the end of it.
Fantastic. That's a great message to leave it on, I think. Will, thank you so much for coming on the show. And I should say, enjoy being on the other side of the competition this year.
Thank you. I'll try to. It'll be much nicer watching everyone else struggle through things as I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
That is it for today. We'll leave it there. A huge thank you to my guest, Will Arden, for coming on the show. Thank you also for listening. If you want any extra details about Britain's Fittest Farmer, I've shoved them in the show notes. So please consider signing up for this year's competition. Next time, we're heading to Yorkshire, to North Yorkshire, and I'll be joined by Damien Barson. But for now, I'm Ben Eagle. This has been Meet the Farmers, and thank you very much for listening.